I know a friend of mine who had applied last year, and he explained me the contest, and I really would like to participate this year.
You know, whether they like it or they don't like it, it's just a privilege to have my work seen by people that I respect.
Like you have a mess on your table where you work, and for a stranger it really looks like a big mess, like a disorder, but you know, if you're searching a pencil, you really know where it is, because like a creative disorder.
We are like working together since 2002. We are like already a couple. We work for, it's for fourth collection, it is like, and then yeah, first collection, not first but four, yeah. When we work together, we like, it's not like she does something and I do something, we do everything together. We like, sometimes the ideas comes same time in different places, same ideas. Perhaps for this collection, what is its biggest inspiration is from the end of the 19th century with the aristocratic woman big hats, and we just wanted to interpret these hats in these days, in usual daily life, and we just make accessories more like it's some guys, some human being in daily life, and it's kitchen, there is members of the school, there's a party table, there is and then comes the outfits. That is like
I'm showing 5 pieces. I actually did 12, and it was inspired by the performative hats. So all the hats were actually performed with, all based around circus and freak show, and using mainly black. The colours were kind of based around an East End funeral. So there was quite a lot of feathers and quite a lot of opulence, lots of kind of beads and yeah, women's wear. But I did a combination of women's wear and men's wear. I'm showing one menswear piece here today.
The same inspiration?
Yeah, it was all like a running theme. So because they were all performed with, I had like a burlesque dancer who had burlesque fans on her head that took them off, and somebody juggling 5 hats, and 2 tattooed people, head to toe with tattoos, with tattooed hats. Yeah, I think it does get me across really well. That I base the collection on a lot of my likes. I like a lot of taxidermy and quite macabre things, and that's what my house and my studio is like. So I think that came across in my collection really well, yeah.
I don't think I really look like my women's wear collection now.
Only on a Saturday night.
Maybe slightly the spirit, because it's sort of like hoodies but more dressed up, so sometimes I'll wear like hoodies with a jacket and things, so maybe that, but it's sort of, there's lots of corsets going into hoodies and all sorts of pleats, so it's not necessarily me, but I suppose because it's from a story that I've written and illustrated, it's sort of got that feel probably of maybe my subconscious more than necessarily how you see me now.
I lived in New York, and it felt, even though people are close to each other, very close to each other in proximity, but it felt like people weren't connecting. I felt more alone than back home in Singapore. So I wanted to explore the phenomenon of the social instinct of people to gather together for reasons of maybe like for work, like over here, or for play, like the triathletes who come together to exercise, or the joggers who come together to exercise. So as you can see, they're very stylized, the treatment, they're like commercials almost. The interesting thing about these photos is that even though it's a group photo and everyone, if you look from afar, it looks really similar. This group of people, they all look the same. And then you go closer in, and even they're all in uniforms, but the variations in like the way they dress, the choices they make, like the watches, or even the way they tie their hair, it allows them to assert their identity, assert their uniqueness in that way.
I think creativity starts from, it doesn't matter basically where it starts, but I think for us, when we start a collection, it's a lot of ideas and impressions from, not only from the theme we choose, but also from everything else we see. And so it's more kind of a disorder that becomes order during the process. But to us it's not disorder, but it might look, it's about having a lot of ideas that in the end should become one.
But I think there are a lot of different ways how you can do it, and one thing can for sure be that you start from different things. Like me, I actually just chose things that I instantly liked, also very visual. I chose images this time, and because I choose it and I like it, it also fits together in the end. It becomes a story, like a whole by itself.
Both is always important. I always try to find some kind of balance every time. That, of course, sometimes I go emotional way. Like last year, I did quite different sides, but of course, I want to try something, new every year. So, it was quite technical way that I tried this year.
I work totally chaotic. I go one way and then completely change, go the other way, go back and then go a third way. And I think being my tutor would be really difficult. But then in the end, once I work towards the end, I start getting really pedantic, really organized, really... I panic early in a project so I can get the best out of it. It goes in a bit like a kaleidoscope. It's going in and out all the time. So it starts complete disorder, and then all of a sudden that turns into order, but then it has to kind of be disordered again in order for it to come from an idea into, that's how I'm going to execute the idea, but then in the executing you have to kind of mess it up again, if you know what I mean, to get back. And I also really like to work with using sort of using the term disorder order, that I would sort of say spontaneity and this kind of organisedness. That's the way I've been working all along. It's an idea and then it's sort of formalised in a sketch, and I work through it, and then I go back and mess it up and kind of just knit something quite spontaneously and work that into it, and so it's always turning from order into disorder all the time, if that makes sense.